Sophie Wells, Sales Manager at Select Group. Welcome to the Rebel Agent podcast.
Thank you.
It's great to get you on. You came, I think we met about a year ago.
Yeah.
You came to our office at EXP, gave a presentation, and it was probably the best one we've had from a developer. Really, it was very good. Perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself and then we can take it from there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel quite privileged to be the first developer rep on the podcast, so thank you. I mean, just to give a bit of introduction on me, I guess. So I moved over here probably around 8 years now. Started off as an agent, did that for a couple of years, and then around 4.5 years ago, I switched and been working at Select Group as a developer rep. So yeah.
So you came over from the UK?
From the UK, yeah.
And whereabouts were you brought up?
So I'm from Surrey, which is southeast, so just outside of London, really.
Yeah. And so after school, because you went straight into employment, didn't you?
Yeah. So I had
cut
my
out
place
the university.
Cut that out. I went to the University of Life.
Exactly.
So yeah, I cut out the university, went straight, and I was working as an insurance broker in London, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing to do with property. So I did all my insurance exams, was working out of central London every day, which was a slog.
Were you commuting?
Commuting, yeah. So an hour and a half, 2 hours there, 2 hours back, long days. And my dad actually lived in Dubai. So that was the trigger for me to move. So he was here for 20 years, 22 years.
So as a child, you used to come over regularly? Yeah,
so school holidays, college breaks, study breaks, whatever it was, I was always just coming here. It's like second home anyway. So yeah, for me to move, it was just.
So you're doing this commute, the weather's not great, you're paying high tax, you think, I could be in Dubai.
Yeah. Seeing it from the other side, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. If anything, I just wish I did it sooner. That's the only thing I can say. Sounds a bit cliche, but I think a lot of people would agree that making that switch and then just a year, 2 years in, because it takes you a while to find your feet, right? You know, you're never going to move halfway around the world and all of a sudden, you know, you're settled in, life is great. You know, it takes you time to find your people, find where you want to live, you know, find a good job, you know, find where you want to be, choose a career, and then but now I wish I did it sooner.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, don't they? And so 2018 you came over?
Yeah, 2017, 2018, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got a job working as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy that?
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of fell into it a bit. And I don't know whether most agents or anyone who works in the industry would agree. Like, it was just kind of a right place, right time. And I had a meeting with a friend at the time who was actually a recruiter for the agency that I joined. Went in.
Can you say which agency?
Yeah, it was PH Real Estate. I think they're the powerhouse now, but it was PH Real Estate at the time. And he was the recruiter there, didn't go in with any agenda. And he just said, I think you'd be really good at it. And that was it. It wasn't like a sales pitch or anything. And the rest is history. I mean, I loved being an agent, but I knew my strengths and I knew my weaknesses as well. That was, for me, working with sellers was not necessarily my strongest point. Working with buyers, other agents, you know, finding people their home or investment.
You're a people person.
That's my thing. Yeah, that's my thing. Working with sellers I found it tough. Hence the switch to working for a developer. And it suits me down to the ground now.
Yeah, great. So as we said, you're with Select Group.
Yeah.
And talk to me about that.
Yeah, so, I mean, without blowing our own trumpet too much, but I mean, Select, for me, even when I was an agent, was one of the top 4, top 5 developers in Dubai, you know, from what we deliver, from the standard, from the brands that we partner with, from every perspective, you know, the way we have relationships with our agents, you know, the way that we conduct ourselves in the market is always something I've just found. It's just very straightforward, very honest approach. You know, we adopt a lot of UK European standards, you know, whether that's in sales or even in the build, you know, that's what we bring to the market. And I think for me, that was it's a no-brainer. I think I would really struggle to work for any other developer, to be honest. I've kind of found my feet
You've almost
there.
gone in at the best, haven't you?
Yeah, I know. And I think that's that for me is where is gold dust. But again, the real estate side of things, I fell into it. But once you're in, you're pretty locked in. It's hard to remove yourself from it once you've had.
Yeah, it is. Well, you've built up experience, haven't you?
Yeah.
And and that counts for a lot. And but I came along to your office the other day, and it's a really impressive office in Business Bay.
Yeah.
And there seems to be a great atmosphere there. I think you were joking with a guy, he'd just done an Ironman thing. You've got balloons, lovely atmosphere. And it's and with you can see the passion. You're very passionate about Select, you're very passionate about Dubai. And that's fantastic. Should we talk about some of the projects that you're delivering or intend to hand over?
Yeah. I mean, we've done a few. I mean, Select, I don't know how much all the listeners probably know about Select as a developer, but we came here like 2002, focusing in the marina. So we've got like 14 towers in the marina gates, probably the one that everyone knows the most. Your number 9s, Studio One. Yeah, exactly. So there's a few in and around sort of prime waterfront locations. My probably favorite 2 are both the Six Senses. It's no secret, even on my social media, and people who know me or have worked with me, that the Six Senses brand sits quite fondly with me. We had Six Senses on the Palm, which we launched in 2022, so 2 years ago. It's a sold out project, handing over next year. And that was honestly, that project was like my baby. Honestly, I practically slept in the sales center half the time. I literally would just live, eat, sleep, breathe that project. And then we've just launched the sister to it in April this year. So that's Six Senses in the marina. Yeah. So of course I can't not mention Peninsula. That's where our office is. I know you mentioned it, but
it's stunning.
Yeah. But Peninsula as a project, like, it's just super unique. I mean, it's the first and only waterfront community sort of just outside of downtown. It can't be replicated. It can't come again within, a sort of 10-kilometer radius. And I think that's why it's done so well. I know that's why it's done so well. The appreciations that people are getting, we were talking about it this morning. It's just insane.
Yeah. And then can you talk about how that partnership came about with Six Senses and Select Group?
Yeah. So Six Senses they're owned and part of the same relationship as the IHG group. So
really?
That's
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's part of we've got the Intercontinental in Dubai Marina. So it kind of came off the back of that. I mean, listen, every developer wants to partner and work with the best or one of the best, and we're just fortunate enough that we get to do that. And the partnership between Select and Six Senses, I think, is so successful because we maintain the same level of standards that they want. It's not a case of us choosing them. It's very much the other way around. They chose to partner with us because they've seen what we've delivered in the past, and the relationship is super strong. And having Six Senses, the closest one to us is Oman in Ziggy Bay. That's the closest Six Senses there is in the world. It's a super unique wellness hospitality brand, and it's the best wellness hospitality brand. There is no competitor for it, and I think that's where the value comes in.
Yeah.
And there's not 1,000,001 Six Senses in the world. There's very, very few, and even fewer where you can actually buy the residence that people are living in.
Exactly.
So for us to have 2 in Dubai is insane.
Yeah, well, 2 at the moment.
Yeah. Let's see what's next. But yeah, for us, it's just it's one of a kind. So yeah.
And I guess you got that British connection as well, because IHG is a British company. Isn't it?
And then I think like the CEO of Six Senses he's from the UK. He's very much involved. He came to the launch even. We had a big launch event at Emirates Golf Club. And yeah, I think it's for us. I mean, well, for me personally, it's the project that I focus on the most because I truly believe in it. And we were talking about this earlier in that, sometimes I feel like even as agents or as developer reps, it comes across like you're paid to like it. And it's not the case at all. For some things or other developers, maybe it is. But for me, with Six Senses and Select, like, how much I'll scream it from the rooftops. Like I genuinely believe in it. If it's my money, I'm putting it there. I've literally seen it happen, black and white figures with 6 sensors on the palm.
Yeah.
You know, and that's can only build confidence. And if anything, it just solidified exactly how I felt about it 2 years ago. Yeah. Now I've got facts and numbers to back it up, so it's even better.
You believed in it then, you've got loads of passion. You do know the figures, and you know all about it. And that's fantastic. Can you talk, because I think it was 2002 that Select Group was founded?
2002 we came over here.
Okay. Yeah. And what, Manchester based originally?
A bit of all over, really. I mean, we're not just in Dubai. You know, we've got projects in prime central London, in St John's Wood, in Marylebone, Sheffield. We're coming with the new development, Nottingham, other places like that.
In the UK,
yeah,
then.
So we do a fair amount in the UK. Yeah, so and other places. I think we've got development in Frankfurt and Germany. So it's a little bit more than just development. That's why it's Select Group. In terms of we do the hospitality side of things. You know, we had a lot of connections building big corporate gym brands. So yeah, it's a little bit more than just sort of development as a soul.
It's impressive that you can be in, you know, these different countries, because obviously if you go into Frankfurt, you're competing with the German developers, and
of course.
So yeah, that's. Can you talk a little bit about the founder and how you started? What brought you across?
Yeah,
what attracted you?
Yeah, no, I think it was. So I joined in the middle of COVID, effectively, which is never easy. And I think the number one thing, I mean, when I joined, we were in the process of handing over, it was our last project in Marina, Jumeirah Living Marina Gate. And we were right in the midst of literally handing that over. I think we were one of the only developers still handing over and finishing construction when the whole place was on lockdown. Wow. Still handed over on time, still, you know, everything was going ahead.
And you need to be in a strong financial position to
for sure, yeah. You know, there's no shying away from that. You know, it's you're front and center and super exposed in those, you know, certain circumstances. So the owner is and founder, chairman is Rahel Azam. His vision for the company is something I don't think I've ever seen before. I love the company because I find it is such a small, sort of close-knit company. You know, we still have a say. You know, you're not just a number in a huge sales team and things like that. I feel like we all have that connection. Everyone kind of knows how each other works. I actually managed to, sort of helped along the way, I guess, of getting the job from my old employer. So never burn bridges in Dubai, guys, because
exactly.
You never know.
It's a small place in some respects, isn't it?
It's a small community, and you know, you don't know who knows who and who can help you down the line, or you know, who you can help down the line. So yeah, I think it's a must. You have to be, you know, respectful and courteous, even when you're leaving a company and things are awkward, whatever it is, you know, you have to, because I wouldn't be in this job if I was.
Yeah, but also I guess he was very happy. Your old employer was very happy with your work, and he probably could do it quite easily. Recommend you to.
Yeah, and I still work with them now. You know, we close deals with the company and things like that. So yeah, I think that's, for me, it's number one. It's number one. You know, part of being a developer is a developer representative in sales. You know, it's a lot of PR, you know, it is a lot of relationship building, and you can only do that by building true relationships, not forced work relationships. You know,
it takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it takes time.
Building up a network and
yeah. You know, people you can trust, people you enjoy to work with, you know, people who, of course, are going to bring good clients and good deals to the table, but, you know, we have to know how each other works, right?
Yeah.
The agents kind of complete us as the developer rather than compete with us. And I think that's where potentially a lot of developers can go wrong. We try to keep it very much that, you know, the relationships with brokers and agents and companies, that's our bread and butter. And we really, you know, respect and build on those relationships as much as we can.
And what would you say to agents out there when they come and visit the office, the showroom? What recommendation would you give when they come along with their clients?
It's a really good one. And a friend of mine actually works at another developer, and we were having this conversation, and it's the same. And I think I speak for all developer, anyone in the sales team of a developer. All that we would say to agents, just know your customer. And I know it sounds stupid, and they probably preach it and scream it from the rooftops in training, but it's just the number one.
Yeah, and we're not talking compliance here.
No, we are talking like the name, their buying pattern. What have they bought? What's the aim of the purchase?
You have people that don't know the name.
I think I've seen it. I'm not going to lie. It's a challenge, Just really come equipped with everything that you can. Not because we expect you to do the job. The opposite, actually. Give me everything. Give me everything that you know about that client. Even if we sit for 5-10 minutes before the meeting actually starts, or the day before, whatever it is, and we can talk and say, okay, these are the aims and these are the ambitions of the client. This is the nationality. I've worked with them before. This is how they usually function. These are the times, whatever it is, tell me everything.
Yeah.
So at least then, I'm going into the meeting. I'm already equipped. I'm still going to ask the questions. I'm still going to say to the client, oh, are you looking for appreciation? Are you looking for a resale? Are you looking for an ROI? But at least my pitch or my conversation is already geared in that direction, rather than having to work that out on the spot, which is going to take me another 20 minutes to half an hour to keep asking questions and things like that. So yeah, that is the number one. Just know the client, know everything you can about them, and tell the developer exactly everything you know, and tell them where you need help, or tell them where, things that you would like me to highlight because you've already done it. Whatever it is, the goal is to close the deal, right?
Yeah,
How that happens can happen a million ways.
But asking the right questions is part of selling, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think
because you show your knowledge by asking the questions. So they need to do it for a few different reasons before they come to you.
Yeah, there's no point me standing and presenting 500 projects or 500 elements of the building when maybe only 2 or 3 really matter or connect with that person. Let me target the direction of conversation in that way. Yeah, that comes down to us. We've got to ask the right questions and things, but at least if I have a general brief, then it makes life so much easier.
Yeah, that's great advice. And then Dubai in general, you see your future here over the next few years, decade?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, I moved here a long time ago. I feel like I know people have been here much longer, but of my age, I feel like I'm a bit of a veteran in terms of the time scale.
Well, you started coming as a child.
Yeah, since I've been here. And I think everybody, I'm going to say something that I think everybody said, I was only moving here for a year or 2. And I think everyone said...
And he came for a weekend, for a holiday.
I'm still here. No, it's just, I did only come for sort of the experience, the exposure. But when you get handed opportunities, or, not get handed, I think maybe that's the wrong term, but you get presented with opportunities that in any other major city in the world of my age group or whatever, you just wouldn't get them elsewhere. Could I make this, this level of wealth? Could I be handling such big clients? Could I be handling such responsibility when I was 23, 24 in any other city in the world? No, probably not. It's very rare that somebody would hand you that responsibility. And I think Dubai is the one place where you can do that. So no, I don't see myself.
Yeah, I mean, if you were still
anywhere.
back in London or elsewhere, you would make a huge success of it. But in Dubai, it's going to be that much more, I think, because the opportunities are so great here.
Yeah.
And if we look at the UK, it's so different now, isn't it? And there are so many different reasons. I think we were talking earlier about safety and how you feel as a woman walking around.
Oh, so it's almost one of those things that you can't explain how safe it is here to somebody. I feel like people need to experience it for themselves. And I think we were chatting very briefly, I can't remember when, but when, walking the dog at 10 o'clock at night, it's pitch black, there's nobody outside, there's no street lights, you're not in a big city, I live in Arabian ranches, so I'm tucked out of the way a bit, but that safety of you don't even think about it. It's not something that even crosses your mind, you just walk out, you feel super safe, you feel protected, you can easily walk past anyone in the street. And honestly, I don't think you can put a value on that. I mean, as a woman for sure, but anybody in general,
Yeah.
Look at why the ultra high net worth clients who live in maybe prime central London and other places, why are they moving here?
They can wear their Rolexes and their design.
Why does everybody work so hard for their money so they can, yes, freedom, investment, things, but you do it so you can have these things, you want to wear a nice watch, you want to wear a nice engagement ring, you want to, I don't know what it is, you want to drive a Range Rover because you've worked your ass off for the last 30 years to afford one. And it gets stolen off the driveway and you can't insure it anymore. Why are all of these people moving and shifting their entire lives to a different country? It's heavily pushed by a safety element.
Definitely.
People want to be able to feel safe
For
where
you,
they
do you
live.
feel that's number one?
More so now. I'd say when I first moved here, maybe not as much, but now, yeah, it's like top 3 for sure and always will be, honestly.
Yeah,
So it's a big one.
So safety, no
Weather,
tax.
no tax, yeah.
Just massive opportunity in terms of business, in terms of work.
I think weather is a big one. I'm quite, my mood is quite impacted by the weather and commuting to and from London in 15 coats and, it's raining, it's snowy, it's cold.
It doesn't help your mood, does it?
No. And then you wake up here, okay, the summer is not great, it's super hot, but for 9 months of the year, we have glorious sunshine where you can sit outside.
But the shopping malls are amazing.
True.
And the air conditioning is just great everywhere, isn't it? So you can still see the sunshine, you still feel uplifted. Yeah. And then you get this 9 months of the rest of the year.
Yeah, where you can eat dinner outside, take the dogs to the beach. I've got horses here, so
have you?
I'm down the stables all the time.
And that's at Arabian Ranches.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I've created my own little hubs on my drive home. I've got the stables, so I stop by and see the horses on my way home. So
yeah, it's a great lifestyle. You're not going anywhere, are you? No,
not anytime soon, anyway.
Before we look to wrap up, let's just briefly talk about social media because you're pretty strong on Instagram.
I try to be.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job.
Do you find that works? Are you getting leads through that?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, agents might find this similar as well. I mean, for me, it is a really great place to network with other agents. Do I pick up my top 10 clients from Instagram? Probably not. But do I pick up the agents with those clients? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's an informal way, everybody's trying to build their social media, brand imaging, especially as an agent, is huge.
Yeah.
A lot of agents, yes, you work for an agency, but you're almost self-employed within
in Dubai more so than most places.
Than other places.
Yeah.
So I think, your own brand image is so important. So I think everybody is trying to grow their social media or their social media presence. So for me, being able to, connect and, let people know about the product or the developments, or even I did a like a story yesterday on my page, basically asking agents what are the best and worst things that you find in developer briefings, because I've been an agent before and sometimes you sit in developer briefings and you're just like,
well, this is what I was saying.
How long
that
is
was
this
it was such a refreshing change to get. And the thing that I can't work out, I know we discussed this earlier, but they spend millions and millions of dirhams building these projects, and then they send in somebody that just can't present, doesn't have all the facts. Like you say, you're doing this,
checking the time,
and you're thinking, guys, you need to sell this.
Yeah,
Sales is,
you need to be able to do that, and I think. That made me laugh. Some of the responses, people saying that like the launch might be held in an ultra 5-star luxury hotel, and it's like it doesn't reflect what's actually being built, maybe, or there's a brochure or a presentation and the rep just sort of reads it monotone off the like word for word. It does. It does. I try to keep things a little bit more interactive, even doing it comparables to other developers. Why is this good? Why is ours is good? The cross-reference, price per square foot, rather than just, it has a pool, it has a gym, there's 2 beds, there's 3 beds. Someone
something
said,
new.
Yeah, someone said, why do developer reps go through each individual floor plan, like inch by inch? Yeah. If I want to look, I'll look after.
Yeah. Each tile.
Yeah. It's just like, just show 2 or 3. So I actually got some really good insights from doing that, even, just to help in my pitches, in my presentations, trying to keep it, how can we keep it interesting? What do you want to see?
Well, exactly. And you kept your pitch relatively short, and then you invited questions. So it made it interactive. So we then all asked the questions. And
if you get to the end and anybody got any questions, and everybody's just...
Yeah.
There is nothing worse, And that's when I know I've maybe not engaged people enough, or maybe I've read too much or gave too much information and I didn't leave the space for the questions or, points or queries, whatever it is. So yeah, that's how I use my social media, to be honest. It's just more to improve what we put out for agents to use to sell our product.
Yeah.
That's how I use mine.
Well, Sophie, it's been great getting you on the podcast. Yeah. Hopefully this has helped with your social media.
I hope so.
If people want to get in contact, is it Instagram the best way, or LinkedIn? Or?
I'm really awful on my LinkedIn. I should be better.
So Instagram's better.
My social media is up there, which I hope maybe we'll tag it in the bottom. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And then we'll put my WhatsApp number on.
And what about people, say, in Frankfurt or Germany or the UK, and they're interested in those projects? Should they come to you as well?
Yeah, so we deal pretty much across the board. I'm sort of heavily, being from London, or just outside of, but I'm quite heavily involved with the projects that we have in London. So yeah, they can still come through from there for sure.
Yeah, certainly. I'll put all those details on, and it's been great having you on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sophie.
Thanks.